All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a trick that is, frankly, going to save you hours of manual work by fixing that dreaded dashboard sprawl we've all dealt with. We'll be using the Grafana Play environment, over at play.grafana.org, along with a sample Prometheus data source. Basically, we're focusing on how to take those rigid, static screens and transform them into totally dynamic, self-filtering observability tools. It's a real game changer.
Now, just think about the painful contrast here. When your team needs to monitor multiple environments, regions, or services, duplicating a dashboard for every single variation, it just quickly leads to massive clutter and, well, total inconsistency. So instead of maintaining 50 hard-coded dashboards for 50 different services, which is a total nightmare, dynamic variables actually let you build one flexible master dashboard that adapts on the fly. One dashboard to rule them all, right?
Seriously, why are any of us still hard-coding queries? I mean, we've all felt the pain of trying to monitor dozens of microservices. Hard-coding server names or environments into your queries, it isn't just tedious. It is literally a maintenance nightmare waiting to happen. Think about it. The exact second a new server spins up, boom, your hard-coded dashboard is already completely out of date.
So here is the absolutely crucial point. Instead of manually typing out a server name, you use a query variable. Think of it as a dynamic placeholder. This variable reaches right into your data source, like Prometheus or maybe a SQL database, and it populates a live drop-down list for you. And the best part, whenever you change that variable's value from the drop-down, every single panel in the dashboard that references it just magically updates automatically in real time.
Setting this whole thing up in the Grafana UI is honestly surprisingly fast. You just pop open your dashboard settings, cruise over to the Variables tab, and hit Add Variable. Then, by choosing Query as your variable type, you're basically telling Grafana, hey, go fetch your options straight from my active data source. It's incredibly straightforward, and it sets the perfect foundation for a super interactive experience.
Take a close look at the query syntax. See that simple PromQL command? Label_values instance. That is just asking Prometheus for all the unique instance names it currently knows about. That means no more manual updates for you. If a new instance spins up, it just instantly appears right there in your dropdown.
Now, a super quick best practice tip for you. Try to keep your visible variables to somewhere between 2 and 4 per dashboard. You really want to avoid creating cognitive overload for your users. I know, it's super tempting to just add a dropdown for every conceivable metric out there, but too many variables can make a dashboard just overwhelming. Remember, we're designing for reuse here, not absolute completeness.
Okay, this brings us to a brilliantly powerful trick, cascading filters. Some folks call this nested variables or variable chaining. Basically, it's where one selection you make automatically narrows down the options of the next one. It's an incredibly powerful way to navigate massive infrastructures, because let's be real, a flat list of thousands of pods or services? Yeah, that would be completely impossible to scroll through. By referencing a parent variable inside a child's query, we create this really intuitive navigation experience right through your infrastructure's hierarchy. You can set up a structural flow, like you choose a region first, which automatically filters down your available clusters, which then filters down your namespaces. It perfectly mimics the natural way our brains think about narrowing down infrastructure problems.
Watch how this builds a cascading effect in real time. The moment you click a specific region in the dropdown, say US East 1, Grafana instantly requeries and filters the cluster list. It is so smooth. You aren't just passively looking at data anymore, you're actively exploring it. And you don't even need to touch a single line of query code yourself. Notice how we inject that $namespace parent variable directly into the Prometheus query for the pod variable. That's what links them together. And guys, this is really where the magic happens. By putting $namespace right there inside the curly braces, the pod variable query literally refuses to fetch all pods. It only fetches the pods that actually exist within the exact namespace you just selected in that previous dropdown. All right, moving on, let's talk about the performance side of things. Grouping by time is absolutely essential for large queries. Thankfully, Grafana handles this automatically using interval variables. Because think about it. When you're looking at massive time ranges, querying every single second of data is going to crash your browser and totally overload your database. But this awesome built-in global variable called $_interval solves that dynamically.
Just watch what happens when we compare these two approaches. When you force a hard-coded 1-minute grouping over half a year, it results in a messy, super slow chart that honestly might just time out completely. But when you use the $/interval variable, Grafana smartly groups those data points by day instead, giving you a perfectly clean, instantly loading visualization. It's night and day.
The math behind this is simple, but wow, is it powerful. Grafana basically calculates the interval based on your selected time range and divides it by the pixel width of the graph on your screen. So if you're looking at 1 hour of data on a full screen, it might group points every 2 minutes. But if you zoom way out to 6 months, it automatically adjusts to group points by the day. It just guarantees your queries are always incredibly efficient.
Okay, let's tie this all together into a real-world scenario. Imagine it's 2 a.m. You just got paged, a critical service is failing, and literally every single second counts. Now, if you were still using hard-coded dashboards, you'd be frantically scrambling through folders, bleary-eyed, just trying to figure out which dashboard even corresponds to which environment. Not fun.
But with dynamic variables, instead of hunting for the right link, you just open one master dashboard, dark-themed, obviously. You cascade through those chain dropdowns we talked about, and you instantly isolate the failing pod. You just switch the environment variable over to staging, pick the affected service, and boom, those chain variables immediately filter down to the exact pod causing the bottleneck. All your CPU, memory, and error rate graphs instantly update to give you the precise context you need to fix the issue fast.
And that, right there, captures the ultimate goal perfectly: reducing dashboard sprawl while radically increasing usability. You're completely eliminating the technical debt of having to update dozens of identical screens just because your team spun up a new server cluster. You design it once for reuse.
So take a really hard look at your observability setup today. By leveraging query variables, chaining them logically, and utilizing smart global variables, your tools can finally adapt to your infrastructure in real time. The final question you really need to answer is this: are your dashboards working for you? Are you still working for your dashboards?